Hey everyone, welcome back. I want to take a moment to connect with each of you because we've been on this journey together, exploring, questioning, and diving deep into what it means to really know ourselves for over a year. And over that time, it's become clear that the answers that most of you are looking for aren't something I or any other channel, book, or teacher can give you. The reason for this is because those answers live within you. My continued hope for you all is that you stop seeking outside sources and start looking within, because real truth, the kind that changes everything, can only be found in your own experience. This is truth, my friends, whether you choose to believe it or not. So, let's make this video together. Let's turn our attention inward and see where it leads. See, you have to understand the mind is constantly telling us stories, but these stories don't reflect reality or the truth. In fact, the mind has no real understanding of what anything, including itself, is. In various spiritual teachings, the mind is referred to as the father of lies because it creates narratives that have no basis in direct experience. The mind is always making things up, and it's crucial for you to see this. It's like a storyteller, weaving tales continuously. Your mind might currently be saying, "Oh, I'm sitting here listening to this video." Sure, that may seem true, but true for who? The mind may accept that as fact, but that doesn't mean it's reality. That's just another story the mind is constructing. In reality, in the truth of the direct experience, that's not what's happening. We often hear, "nothing is happening," which is another way of saying that whatever the mind describes isn't what's really going on. The mind, through thoughts, cannot actually experience anything. It simply lacks the ability to engage with reality in that way. So how could the mind know what's being experienced? Throughout this video, I'll guide you through examples so you can see this for yourself. I don't want you to just take my word for it. Prove it to yourself. Let's start with a simple exercise. Rub your hands together. Can your thoughts experience that sensation? Is it a thought that feels the rubbing? Even if you think the answer is yes, realize you can feel that sensation without using thoughts. The mind isn't capable of experiencing the feeling, but it will quickly create a story about it, such as, "I'm rubbing my hands together." Can you see how that's just a story? It's a narrative made up of language, ideas, and labels. But no matter what the mind says about the sensation, it's not the direct experience. Whatever the mind claims is happening isn't the truth of the experience. It's simply telling another story. The mind is talking about its version of the experience, not the actual experience itself. In reality, there is no such thing as a hand. There are no labels or concepts in reality, or at least not beyond the mind. Direct experience doesn't label things or try to figure out what's happening. That's purely the mind's job. You need to recognize this. This understanding is crucial because we often get caught in the trap of thinking we can use the mind to reach some deeper truth or enlightenment, but you can't. The mind will never be able to experience what I'm pointing to, and it's important to understand that. If you're trying to gain more knowledge or understanding to awaken, you're missing the point. Chasing knowledge is a mental pursuit, and that's not where awakening happens. One of our commenters asked, "Why does it seem like whatever the mind says is happening is actually happening?" They said it feels like the mind is accurately describing reality, but that's only because the story makes sense to the mind. The mind created that story, so of course it aligns with its own logic, but you need to realize that there's a difference between the mind's world and reality. In truth, there's only one world, but the mind creates an illusionary world, one most of us mistakenly believe we live in. This mental world is built on labels, separation, and judgments like good or bad. For example, look around right now. Every object you see has a label. That's a TV, that's a table, that's a candle, those are my arms and legs, that's a wall. According to the mind, these labels are true because that's how things appear in the mind's world of illusions. But there's another layer of reality where those labels don't exist. Yes, you're seeing something, but it doesn't have a name. In that deeper reality, there's no separation between objects. There's no such thing as a TV or table or arms and legs. There's just what is. Reality itself is like a blank canvas, and the mind adds stories to it, just like words on a page. We believe these stories, and that's what makes them seem true, but they're not. Reality is far deeper than the mind's narratives. The mind creates the illusion of people, places, and things. It even creates the illusion of a separate self. Who you think you are is a mental concept, a thought. Reality doesn't create that sense of separation. The mind does. When you stop thinking, where are you? Even when thoughts stop, something remains. But it's not the you the mind has convinced you of. What truly remains isn't personal at all. You might call that which is present me. But in reality, it's not a person. You've been labeling it with names like Mark or Jessica, but those are just stories. The characters we think of as ourselves don't truly exist outside the mind. They're mental constructs, ideas born from thoughts. Now reflect on this. Does it feel like you are really here? If you answered yes, answer me this. What does it feel like to be you? Don't rush to the mind story. Just feel. You might say, I feel my body, but is the body you? Remember, you is just a thought. If Mark is a thought, you can't feel a thought, and thoughts can't feel. So Mark can't feel anything. But yes, there is something experiencing, something sensing. It's not the personal ego character. The mind just claims it is. But how could the mind know if it doesn't have any direct experience? The real experiencer is what you've been searching for all along. It's not something you can lose because it's always been here. Right now you are having an experience, but it's not the person you think you are. It's consciousness that's experiencing this. It's life itself that's aware of these words. Wake up to this. It's not a person talking, and it's not a person listening. Consciousness itself is both speaking and hearing as one unit. Consciousness is everything. It's what you truly are. Don't try to identify with it, because identity is another mental construct. What you are is beyond identity. You're not a separate individual. You are the life experience itself. This isn't Jessica's consciousness, and Jessica can't be awakened because Jessica doesn't exist in reality. What's awakening is consciousness itself. For this to be realized, you have to let go of the mental character the mind has created, as well as all the stories it has been told and has had programmed into it. When the personal programmed you disappears, what remains is the truth. Consciousness, God, universe, whatever you label it. Basically, the experience itself. But for this to happen, you need to step out of the mind. The mind will never understand reality because it can't experience it. It only knows how to tell stories. This is why you can't rely on the mind to find peace, happiness, or enlightenment. The mind imagines what those things might feel like and then leads you on a search for that imagined experience. But that's not what any of the true teachers were pointing to. The mind is simply incapable of grasping reality, and there's no reason to be stressed out by that. There's no point in endlessly seeking knowledge or looking to opinions from so-called spiritual teachers, gurus, or ascended masters. In the end, all of it is just opinion. Valuable perhaps, but still opinion, unless you can prove it to yourself. So we have to face it. No outside source can truly give you the answers you're looking for. They're already within you. The wisdom you need isn't in someone else's words, but in your own direct experience. As Solomon wisely once said, there is nothing new under the sun. This is true, just think about it. Knowledge, ideas, philosophies are repetitive. Everything you seek has already been within you, waiting to be uncovered, not through external knowledge, but through your own inner clarity and realization. Trust that, and stop looking outside yourself for answers. My friends, the truth isn't out there. It just isn't, because it's simply in you. Believe this or not, but don't go looking for another to tell you different. Because if you do, you're just missing the whole point of this video, and you will never find it by relying on different opinions other than your own. We love you all as one, and thank you for the support. Please consider donating to the YHS Challenge, because while you may agree that none of this real and maybe there are no starving people, Ask yourself, why would the money matter then? The link is in the description. That's it for now. Enjoy your experience and walk in light.